I'm not gonna lie. There's some conversations that I don't.
You don't want to
I
know.
don't. I don't.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to. I try to be like not insulting, degrading,
There's a
and
lot of
all
ways
that.
you don't
But
belittle. You
I'm
gotta
trying.
push
Yeah,
the
I'm
buttons.
not trying to belittle them, but I'm trying to, like you say, push the buttons.
You know what's gonna happen.
I don't know. It's a lesson.
I'm not calling you stupid. What you did was stupid.
There it is.
I'm not calling. Don't go telling your mama you called me stupid. I'm not calling you stupid. That was stupid.
Hey man, it get frustrating, man. You see somebody doing the same old stuff.
We all been there, Bootsy.
I know it's all good.
Chad, right? You're
Yeah.
awful quiet over there. You're getting off the hook.
I agree 100%.
Well, they're all different too.
Yeah.
Until Branson's not in our middle range, he's so hard headed. He'll argue with you
Oh, he'll argue
until
back.
he thinks he's right. They're so different.
My daughter used to see me. She has, we have our issues. My daughter will give me some voice notes. She knows exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like she
That was me
learned.
with my older nephew. And what's because my older brother,
Yeah.
from littling all the way up until getting to adulthood.
Yeah, man. That trailer has some ground. Somebody need to throw the ball at him.
Generations. He ain't even out there at all. He's not even out there at all.
Oh, I'm gonna see.
His game. Even hearing my older son sit there and say that everybody that drinks throughout the entire season. I told Jason, I'm like, you are not going to believe everything that he just went down and what was said, and
Yeah.
even what the umpires were saying back to the parents.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah,
said
you
how
hang
they.
out with me and Bootsy, you're just gonna get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell
I'm
you,
not scared
man.
to get in trouble.
Yeah, the trouble, man. Was I caught him with that phone on.
That was a good
Hey,
conversation
hey,
right there.
hey, they asked why you're at home here, bro.
Doing what?
They asked why you were at home. Over here. What happened?
You know that guy's
If we didn't make it,
You alright?
you like your coach, Chad?
Y'all didn't make the playoffs, right?
I had to
leave
change
him
up the whole
alone.
play. Like
Branson was in the bullpen, Branson needs you.
oh man, I'm telling you
Right now. He's gonna get it.
like
Once he
this.
get into what is it, arbitration, he'll make more money.
That's what Terry said. Smart teams do that.
Smart teams. Yeah,
Seriously,
he got other guys that I think Jaron will come back somewhere down the road.
Jaron Sears, Butler.
Yeah. I mean, he's just not doing whatever he
Yeah,
wants.
It's like
depending on what he's
Zone.
doing.
I go on my laptop here and like I hate when people are trying to read my phone. I
I know it puts down the button.
Get him, David.
come on, Brandon.
All right, let's see. We got the Jared trade, then we got the Nancy signing. That's okay with you, Bootsy? I'm calling the shots, right, Ron? You heard
If
Bootsy
they
say
can
that.
run
I
movement
heard
so we
Bootsy
don't have
say
to
he
sit in
had a.
traffic,
They
that would
calling
be
the
so
shot.
nice.
That's
Right,
the
Ron?
situation. What's that?
Run movement so we don't have to sit in traffic heading south.
I wish it would take a run movement. This team is still really I
Welcome into Lakepoint Sports. Corey McCartney along with PBR Georgia's Hudson Graham, and this is the final of the Underclass Fall World Series. Hudson, man, good to have you back in.
Yes, sir. Glad to be back.
The dream against the East Coast Sox and this dream team, I mean, you talk about rolling to get to this point in the proceedings here. The highest scoring team in pool play, they scored 60 runs while allowing just 3 to go 4-0. Today they've already beaten five-star Bama West 12-1, then BC Athletics 9-1 in 5 innings to get to this point where we're talking about them playing for a final. Out there on the mound, you're seeing Branson Crawford out of Gainesville. And Branson, I know a guy, a past junior feature games player, a guy who's done so many different events here at Lakepoint Sports, and someone, Hudson, that you're all too familiar with as a player.
Yeah, for sure. He's a personal favorite. He's been around the last few years. Craven singles there to get the game going. Good little player from Alabama. Yeah, Crawford, he's definitely a personal favorite. Getting the start on the mound in the championship game. I think he's already threw once earlier today, but he's a gamer. He's going to want the ball in this situation. But I'm sure we'll talk more about him as we go. But he's definitely one to watch this year at Gainesville this spring and going in next summer as a potential future gamer for us.
So Branson told me that the game plan was to challenge these guys with fastballs and then adjust as he goes along to see how they handle that. We've already seen Aiden Craven, who you mentioned. Aiden is a junior feature games alumni for Alabama. He was the leadoff hitter. This is Nelson Barthel, followed by Wyatt Williams, Chris Fitz, and the ball put into play there by Nelson Barthel. And two hits, two batters, 2 hits, and they are jumping all over things here in the early proceedings. Now we're going to see Wyatt Williams, followed by Chris Fitz, Aaron Bailey, Cohen Winter, Jacob Hall, Brooks Mellows, and Luke Vaughn. Luke Vaughn also the pitcher for East Coast Sox today. And lining up defensively behind Branson Crawford, we've got Chase Dixon, the leadoff hitter at second base. Branson's going to hit second in this lineup. Kane Moy, the first baseman, hitting third. Trey Robbins, the right fielder, hitting fourth, followed by Jared James, David Oglesby-Smith, Alex Espinoza, David Baez, and Jake Borland.
Yeah, Wyatt Williams, I got a chance to watch East Coast Sox this last semifinal game, and he barreled a ball 99 exit velocity down the line. And Ian Smith, our assistant scouting director, he got to watch him a good bit this tournament and said he can really hit.
Fires that one back up the middle for another hit. 3 batters, 3 hits, and he's going to round third but come back. So this dream team has scored so many runs to this point, but these East Coast Sox, I mean, they may not have quite the number of ranked players within the state of Alabama that the dream has here in Georgia, but these kids are coming out swinging hot in the early goings.
Yeah, they're big physical kids, like Williams there, another barrel right up the middle at 93.2 exit velo. So Branson's just got to keep filling it up here. I mean, singles won't hurt you in the long run, but if he can keep filling it up and getting ground ball and getting out, he can try to get the offense back going here in the bottom half.
This is Chris Fitz, the left fielder. Crawford starts him off with a breaking ball, 70 miles an hour. Aaron Bailey to follow. Talk about East Coast Sox. They won their pool 4-0, is 4 games to zip as well, outscoring their opponents 36-8. Comes the 1-0 from Crawford. Fires that one up the middle off his glove. He's going to make the throw home.
Good play.
In time. Smart heads up play to get there to get the lead runner.
Yeah, good thing with Branson on the mound there. He can you can rely on him on any ball back at him. He's probably got priority over most of these guys. He's probably the most athletic kid on the field. So he handles that, comes right back at him, bounces off the glove, and able to get that big lead runner.
There are 12 players ranked in the state of Georgia on this dream team.
Yeah, they've been fun to watch. We did a scout day with these guys towards the beginning of the fall. They had reached out, wanting us to come and get some updated metrics on some of these guys, and obviously it's showing here in the Underclass Fall World Series. So definitely glad we got to see them early in the fall to kind of predict this good little run they got going on.
Sends that one right back up the middle. So 1 run's going to score, runner third's going to hold. So just jumping all over Branson Crawford here early. 4 consecutive hits for East Coast Sox, and none of these counts have really gone past 2 strikes so far.
Yeah, I think he's just leaving it up in the zone a little bit. Obviously fastball in the low to mid 80s. Just get it down in the zone. I think he gets a lot of more weak contact if he can do that.
This is Cohen Winter. That was Aaron Bailey, the third baseman, who just came through with that RBI single. Jacob Hall to follow. There are 4 players with state rankings in Alabama on this team, and I mentioned Aiden Craven, the 2022 Junior Feature Games alumni. He's one of the key players in this team, along with Brooks Mellone, this second base, shortstop, excuse me. He's the number 8 shortstop in Alabama in 2026. Wyatt Williams, who you've already saw, is the catcher, the number 2 catcher in Alabama in 2026. And then Aaron Bailey, the third baseman, the second-ranked third baseman in Alabama in the class of 2026.
Yeah, our PBR Alabama guys do a great job. We actually sent one of our guys over to Alabama Saturday for the Southeast Unsigned Senior Games at Jacksonville State, and then gameplay at Chocoloco Park on Sunday. So anytime we get to do something with them, it's always a good experience for the kids.
All right, so 1 down in the inning is that bouncer back to the pitcher. Crawford makes that play at home.
Yeah, this is complete opposite from the semifinal game for East Coast. It couldn't seem like they could find a hole. Devine just made a few mistakes that they were able to capitalize on, but now everything's finding the hole for them.
All right, here comes the 1-0. Shoots that one back up the middle as a
Espinoza.
Nice play to flip to second and back to first to get the double play and get them out of the inning. Just 1 run scores, but hits in bunches there for the East Coast Sox to start things off. And I mentioned Branson Crawford. We've talked about him a couple times already. Again, 12 players ranked in the state of Georgia on this dream team. 1 national ranking, and that is Branson Crawford.
Yep.
2 players with Future Games experience in Trey Robbins, who was a 2022 Future Games player, and Crawford, a 2-time junior Future Games player. Obviously, East Coast Sox are showing an ability to put the ball into play early on, but this dream team coming through with a little bit more in terms of the resume. What have you liked about them that you've seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, top to bottom, they can swing the bat pretty well. Chance Dixon leads it off for them. He's a 2026 out of Woodward Academy, little second baseman there that just made that really good turn. So he's an exciting one that's popped up in the last year that it's going to be fun to watch this spring. And then obviously you go into Crawford and Trey Robbins and Kane Moy, who's having an unbelievable tournament with 2 bombs and quite a few other big barrels. It's a tough lineup to stack up against for sure.
Yeah, you're going to get to hear from Kane Moy here shortly. He caught up with our Simone Stanley, who's the 3rd member of our broadcast team today. But the other players with rankings in the state of Georgia on this team, you got Blake Harrington out of Callaway, Kalon Davis, another Woodward Academy player. You mentioned Alex Espinoza from Grayson, Jared James from Sprayberry. And we talked about Trey Robbins out of Whitewater. Again, Crawford, Jake Borland from Loganville, Ellis Appling out of Parkview, David Oglesby-Smith from Paideia, and Chance Dixon from Woodward Academy, and then Dallas Peoples out of North Atlanta, and finally Caleb Narcissi out of North Cobb. So just a bunch of dudes on this team.
Yeah, for sure. Jake Boland, he had a good appearance on the mound earlier that's thrown well all fall. He'll be one to watch at Loganville this spring as one of their main arms. And then, there's a couple others that stand out. Oglesby-Smith, he's super athletic. He had a good semifinal game. But really, it's athletes top to bottom. There's really not much of a hole in this lineup. And you got good power mixed in with Moy and Trey Robbins, and then you got Dixon and Crawford who are going to get on base for these guys.
Looking at Luke Vaughn, that's the pitcher here for East Coast Sox out of Athens High School in Alabama. Haven't seen him pitch very much before, primarily a center fielder, but he does get on the mound here as we're seeing out of this lefty. Interesting to see what he's able to do here. Again, a lot of times in these tournaments we talk about how much pitching gets stressed. I think the fact that we're seeing a guy who has the credentials that Crawford has for the dream, that's pretty something you don't see too often this late in the proceedings of an event.
Yeah, and it's tough in the fall. I'm assuming they're probably missing a couple guys with football, if I had to guess. I know Peoples, I think he's a football guy. So really in the fall it gets tough at times, but this dream team's done a good job of managing their pitching, and obviously the lineup's been working for them. To save on those arms.
Leading things off for the Dream is Chance Dixon with Crawford and Kane Moy to follow.
Yeah, Dixon's going to hit early in the count. I've watched that all weekend. He definitely likes to hunt early, but also he takes his walks. He's a good runner on the bases, so he knows he needs to get on base and get on second in scoring position so they can drive him in.
Well, pops out to right there early in the count, as you mentioned, and here comes Crawford. Thinking he's looking to do some damage himself here after giving up a whole bunch of singles in the top of the first.
Yeah, that was big to get out of that with 1 run. If looking back, depending on how this game goes, that could be the turning point for this dream team, is getting out of that with only 1 run.
All right, starts off 0-1. Loses the grip on the attempted breaking ball.
Yeah, I think the Dream's going to have to be patient here. From the looks of this lefty for East Coast, I think they're going to have to be patient and find something in the zone and stay back to be able to get things rolling here.
Yeah, and these guys, you know, we talk about runs scored in this event. I mean, it's just been kind of ridiculous. I mean, they beat the Outlaws 9-3 on Friday, then come back and beat Turn 2 25-0 on Saturday. Yeah. Next Level Prospects goal 11-0. Sunday they beat the Blue Sox Baseball Elite 15-0, and then 5-star Alabama West 12-1, then BC Athletics 9-1 in 5 innings. So these guys have made an art out of being aggressive in games. So I think kind of working these counts and getting a pitcher who may not be hitting the strike zone as much as they're used to might be a bit of an adjustment. And this is on the 3-1, so we're going to have a walk.
And what's fun to see about Crawford, he's going to want to run here even though he's pitching. I doubt they might send a runner out for him, but I figured they probably won't. They'll let him run. He's sub-7 runner. Used to be a football kid. I think he's just focusing on baseball now, but he's one of those all-around athletes that he doesn't want somebody to come in to run for him.
Hey, you guys had him at a showcase a few months ago. I ended up catching up with him there, and just a really heady kid. He's really excited about what they're building at Gainesville with the new coaching staff. Yeah,
they got some talented young guys coming up. A lot of good 26s that actually played a lot last year. Tyler Rothel, Dawson Vaughn, just to name a few. They should have a good spring at a powerhouse that's always been really good at baseball.
So Crawford stands at first base. 1-0 is the count to Kane Moy. Moy has just been killing the baseball. Had a triple in the last game. As you mentioned, he's already hit 2 home runs so far in this event and just been, you know, putting the power on display.
Yeah, he's looking for something up in the zone here that he can drive to the right part of the field. He put on a pretty good show during the scout day. He barreled up a couple over the fence in his BP round, but just raw strength. Just got under that one. Breaking ball, stayed up.
And Moy listed at 6'1", 215 pounds, and pops that one out for the second out.
Yeah, Trey Robbins coming up next here. Trey, he was one of our youngest guys on the Future Games team. I guess back when the 2024s were coming through.
Yep.
He popped in and had a pretty good performance on the mound. Just big physical kid. Has filled out since then. He's been the same size for the last couple of years, but he's gotten a lot stronger.
The 6th ranked lefty in Georgia in the class of 2026, number 41 overall, sends that one to shortstop. Unable to make the play though as he bobbles it, and Crawford going to be safe at second. So runners at first and second here with 2 down for the Dream in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, plays like that are tough against a lineup like this. You know, a little mistake like that could lead to a 3-4 run inning if you're not careful. So
here's Jared James. Jared out of Sprayberry, as I mentioned. He's the 17th ranked third baseman in Georgia in 2025, number 223 overall. It's going to be followed by David Oglesby Smith if this inning continues for the Dream. Gets that one down the middle for a strike. As much as we've seen that breaking ball kind of get away from him, you expect he's probably just going to be riding that fastball. Just let him put it in play and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, especially with obviously just a 1-run lead, but especially with a lead in this first inning, you want to try to put up a 0 for a shutdown inning to get them back to the top half of the second.
The 1-1 to James. Skies that one foul.
Yeah, we'll see if these Dream hitters make an adjustment. You know, James here, and then same thing with Moy and Dixon, kind of out in front, getting a little bit aggressive. That fastball is coming in there. He's leaving it middle, but they're out in front of it. So we'll see if they can make an adjustment.
Well, that's going to make it 2-2. And the 2-2 to James. Shoots that one in the shallow left. Well, the center fielder's going to shy over and make the play. So unable to get a run out of that despite having a couple runners on. I mentioned the work that Kane Moy has done so far for this explosive Dream offense. and our Simone Stanley got a chance to catch up with Kane in the Dream dugout.
You have 2 home runs so far in this tournament. What's been working well for you?
Really just jumping on the first strike I see and just driving the ball wherever it's pitched, whether it's inside, outside, just keeping my hands through the ball, staying through the ball.
And what has been the most exciting part of the Underclass World Series this year?
Probably my home run last game. We were tied 1-1, and I hit it really far, and it pretty much got the game momentum rolling. So that was pretty much the best part so far.
What's it going to take to get this win over the East Coast Sox and be the 2023 champions?
We're really going to have to hit and keep our energy how it has been all tournament, but really just like make no errors, hit really good, no mistakes. Yeah.
So what you've been doing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Corey?
We are on to the second inning here in the Underclass Fall World Series final. 1-0 is your lead for the East Coast Sox over the Dream. Corey McCartney, PBR Georgia's Hudson Graham with you as we roll along here at Emerson, Georgia, and Lakepoint Sports. Jacob Hall going to be up for the East Coast Sox here, followed by Brooks Mellows and the pitcher Luke Vaughn. Again, Branson Crawford on the mound for the Dream.
Yeah, and watching this East Coast lineup last game, I didn't see many holes in it as well. So we may be in for a slugfest back and forth here, but Crawford as he looks to try to settle down in this second inning.
Yeah, he said he was going to try to go as long as he could. I mean, there's no expectation on pitches, innings count for him on this. He just wants to see how long that arm will take him. He said he only caught half an inning or 2 innings so far through the proceedings here today, so he's pretty fresh, not a lot of taxing on that arm behind the plate so far.
Yeah, and guys like him, he puts in the work, so you're not so worried about him in the fall, throwing a couple times this tournament and coming back on short rest today to throw some more. He takes care of his arm and super athletic, so he can throw upwards of 40, 50 pitches right here if he needs to.
Well, he's only up to 18 so far, despite giving up some singles early in the count. Singles that stopped him from ratcheting up that count too high in that busy first inning.
Yeah, those last 2 pitches, that was 85 and 86. So he's starting to tick up a little bit. I mean, I think we've seen him maybe 87, 88 a couple times, but Crawford obviously catching behind the plate, and then he'll play center field as well. His arm behind the plate is definitely one of the best in the state. It's pretty impressive. I think he's popped a 81 or 82 from behind the plate to second base during showcases, which is really unheard of. Tough pitch there, right on the outer half. Looked like it skimmed a little black there. 86 paint too. That was a good pitch.
All right, 2-2 is the count to Hall. Fires that one to shortstop, able to make the throw across the diamond in time. So nice play there at short from Alex Espinoza to get that first out.
Yeah, he's going to be one I definitely want to check out this spring. Got to see him at the scout day, and obviously he can get it done at short with that tough play up the middle that last inning, and then that one there. That wasn't an easy play either. So he's definitely one I want to see at Grayson this spring.
Here's Brooks Mellows, Brooks, the, again, 8th-ranked shortstop in Alabama in 2026 out of Tuscaloosa County.
Yeah, Crawford, you'll see him. He gets this pace going to where he's throws a pitch, gets right back up there and wants it again. So once you see him start settling in, these East Coast guys might be in trouble.
Very quickly finds himself ahead of Mellows 0-2, and he sends that one to Espinoza again. A deep throw, but able to make it for the second out. Showing off the range there and showing off the arm strength, and now it's going to be Luke Vaughn, the pitcher.
Yeah, big out for Crawford right here. If he can get this guy and get him back in the dugout, I think the momentum kind of swings their way and sees what they can do in the bottom half.
Miss arm side makes it 0-1.
That was a change up there.
Little dribbler back to Crawford.
Foul in the box, it looks like.
All right, so
this
foot. AB is going to continue.
Yeah, Branson, he's starting to figure it out at the plate a little bit too, strength-wise. I think he had maybe 4 or 5 bombs this year for Gainesville as a freshman. So if he can keep building on that, he's definitely going to be a name to know in the 26 class.
Another miss makes it 2-1.
Got to reset right here. Get back in there. 3-1.
Vaughn gets on. We'll be back to the top of the order for East Coast Sox and Aiden Craven.
Yeah,
And
Craven's a fun little player. I got to watch him a little bit last game. He had I think a single, then he came in on the mound to try to shut it down, but plays the game really hard, plays the game fast. Good bat from the left side.
he's the 5th ranked outfielder in Alabama in 26, number 35 overall at Chelsea High School. Was a part of the Alabama Junior Future Game team in 2022.
Yeah, I guess him and Crawford, they probably played against each other. I can't remember if we played Alabama that year or not, but they were definitely at the event together.
All right, hit him on the foot, so we're going to have runners at first and second. It's going to be Nelson Barthel's turn, the right fielder.
Yeah, Nelson had a good single last game, pull side single. He's another good bat from the left side for this East Coast lineup.
Sometimes you do wonder when a team has rolled through things like the Dream has, and then you get a team that's kind of had to fight to get through, like East Coast Sox. Like, what does that do from a mentality when it is a tight game like this? Because the Dream haven't had to deal with that really at any point in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I guess this is something you can relate to, but it's like our Atlanta Braves. You know,
That's right.
they rolled all year, best team in baseball, 162 games, and you know now they get in the playoffs. And everybody always says once you get there, it doesn't matter what the regular season was. So. It's all about getting hot at the right time, and you know, with these longer 4 or 5 game tournaments, you know, these last few bracket games can really build momentum up into the championship game.
Yeah, I think Matt Olson said it best. The stats all flip to 0 when it hits October. Same thing in these events where everything gets reset when you get into this final, and what do you have left in the tank?
Yep.
So far we're seeing East Coast Sox with just a little bit more as they lead 1-0 here in the top of the second inning.
Good job, Crawford, getting Nelson 0-2 here. Let's see if he can make a pitch and get him back in the dugout.
Sends the 0-2 down the right field line, foul. How much does he pitch for Gainesville considering the amount of time he sees behind the plate?
I don't think he threw a ton this last spring. You know, being a freshman, they definitely have some upperclassmen that took some time on the mound. I think obviously he can pitch as we're seeing now, but I think the coaching staff that they had there last year, I think it was more let the upperclassmen pitch and then let these younger guys get some experience at the plate. Ground ball to second there. Dixon makes it and gets out of the inning.
All right, so no damage done. It's 1-0 your lead here for the East Coast Sox. We're through 1.5 here at Lakepoint Sports. We'll be back with more here from the Underclass Fall World Series. Back here at Lakepoint Sports, this is the Underclass Fall World Series. Corey McCartney at PBR Georgia's Hudson Graham as we continue 1-0 is the lead for East Coast Sox here in the bottom of the second inning. See if the East Coast Sox can come through and hold off the Dream once again. Had some traffic this last time the Dream were up, but able to hold them in check and stop it despite the fact that they were able to make some things happen on the base pass. So been impressed with what the East Coast Sox have done so far, and we'll see how they respond here in the second inning. So it's going to be David Oglesby Smith is going to be the hitter here for the Dream, followed by Alex Espinoza and David Baez, the designated hitter. Again, Luke Vaughn is on the mound for East Coast Sox. gets the bunt down. It's going to go foul. Comes the 0-1 to Oglesby Smith.
There's that breaking ball. He did a little bit better job staying back on it there. Got to think left center gap on that one. Yeah, Oglesby Smith, I think he had a pretty good game, semifinal game, couple hits. He's one of those that, you know, a little bit of a late bloomer. Size has always been there, but, you know, the development at the plate has come a long way as he slaps that one into left field. Looks to get on two.
All right, into second there for a
tough play.
Not in time. So gonna get himself a leadoff double here for the Dream.
Good job by the left fielder there, getting that ball in, giving him a chance. Espinosa up now. This lineup almost resets when you get to Espinosa because really he can be a leadoff guy or he can be one of these guys towards the bottom to flip it back over to the top. So he'll look to do some damage here with no outs. Runner on second.
Vaughn misses to start him off. Espinosa, the 24th ranked shortstop in Georgia, as you mentioned, out of Grayson, number 148 overall. He's going to be followed by David Baez, the DH.
Yeah, good runner too as he tried to bunt there.
See the jerseys flapping in the wind. I think that's one guarantee here at Lakepoint Sports once we get out of the summer months is it's almost always windy up here.
Oh, yeah. They during that Divine game, there was a couple balls that hung up that coaches were trying to tell them to look at the giant American flag over towards the parking lot to see that the wind was blowing in. They couple came short on the outfielders during the semifinal game.
One and Espinosa's showing bunt but pulls it back.
Yeah, that flag, we always get good conversations on it here at Lakepoint Sports. You know, the college coaches like to come in and when there's a rain delay or a lightning delay, they always like to wonder how big it actually is. Because it's crazy to see when the wind starts whipping and we get in a little weather delay here. People are always betting on how big it is.
We really should have that information handy. We should know the exact dimensions so we can pull it out whenever somebody hits us up with those requests.
I know.
Or win a bet.
We got the construction going on across the street, so now we getting a dust cloud coming in here as he lays that bunt down. Good bunt. Bang, bang play. Got him.
All right. Able to advance the runner, though, as Oglesby Smith now sets at third with one down for the Dream.
Yeah, at this point in the game, I think the Dream, you know, with no outs, obviously a sacrifice bunt there to get the runner to third. You know, they just want to get that one run back to get this game even so they can kind of start building. Looks like East Coast is going to bring the infield in here with one out. Breaking ball hits him.
All right, so Baez is going to be on first with an hit by pitch. That's going to bring up Jake Boland.
Yeah, Boland, he's coming around at the plate as well. Saw him in the summer and then early fall on the mound, been up to 86, strike thrower, competes in the zone. But the bat's one to watch too at Loganville this spring. So I think they got a shot just like Gainesville. They got a lot of young guys coming up too. So the state of Georgia's in good hands this coming spring.
Yeah, Loganville, they had a pretty good pitcher a year or so ago. I'm trying to remember who the big arm they had was. It ended up being a Division I commit.
Yeah, they put me out of the second round of the state playoffs back in I guess 2014. I think that was right before Clint Frazier got out of there. But they've always been good. They had a couple kids go play college ball that year, but they're always really good. They got Jalen Jones. I remember him. Jordan Johnson's a young one. He's a really good arm they got coming up.
Yeah, I remember J.P. Myers was a really good arm.
Yeah, I think head coach there is Jeff Seegers, if I'm not mistaken. He's been there a while. He's always done a good job. That's funny, Gainesville and Loganville. That's actually the two teams that put me out of the state playoffs back in 2013 and 2014. Gainesville was my junior year, and then Loganville was the senior year. I think that was either Elite 8 or Sweet 16. But they're always good.
Dawson Coe is who I was thinking of. Is
Gotcha.
at Kennesaw State now. Yeah.
Yep, lefty. He's been around a little bit. Obviously, I was doing the tournaments back then, but remember seeing him some. He was a good left-handed arm.
Yep.
Good swing there. Looks like it just foul. Got him 0-2 here, though. Bolin just needs to shorten up, see what he can do.
Well, after Bolin, we are back to the top of the order, and Chance Dixon. 1-0 is your lead for the East Coast Sox here in the bottom of the second inning. Shoots that one foul.
Just coming in on him. Doing a good job of fouling it off. See if you can't get something over the plate here.
Here comes Vaughn with the 0-2.
Another one. Breaking ball there, a little out in front, but got the barrel out, pulled it down the line again, too. Yeah, glad to see the Dream putting it all together. You know, it's kind of one of the last tournaments of the fall. They've played in quite a few this fall, and, you know, lost one in pool play that didn't get them in the bracket, but now they're kind of putting it all together to close the fall out.
Lost the grip on the breaking ball there to make it 1-2. Another miss makes it 2-2. Dream with just one hit so far. That's the leadoff double.
Swing and a miss. First is open, though. Let's see what happens here.
Drop third, able to get home in time to make it 1-1. Oglesby Smith smartly makes his way home off the drop third and the throw to first.
Yeah, good read there. That's a tough play. I know that catcher's worried about getting it out, but
yeah. Well, what do you do? I mean, you hold on to the ball, and then with the threat of the runner, and you end up letting the guy get to first base, and you don't get the out that you can easily get.
Yeah, definitely taking outs in that situation, especially against this lineup. You know, 1 out versus 2 outs with a runner on third instead of first and second, or first and third goes a long ways.
Chance Dixon starts off with a strike, so he's already is going to see more pitches than he saw in his first at bat when he jumped on one and flying out to right field to start off the first.
Yeah, Dixon, he's gotten a lot stronger over the last year. He's always been a good player, good instincts, can run, but he's starting to fill out. Had a couple singles, I think that was Saturday or maybe Friday night when I was watching them play.
Part of that Woodward Academy program that we talked about in a previous broadcast is just pumping guys out left and right lately.
Yeah, he should. I didn't get to see them last year, but I would assume he'll get a shot to play as a sophomore. I know they're always super talented, so it can be tough to play as an underclassman sometimes, but should have a good chance to play this year.
Vaughn's got a 1-2 count now to Dixon here in the bottom of the second. We're all notched up at 1-1 here in the Underclass Fall World Series final. Comes the 1-2.
Yeah, it's a tough pitch to stay back on. Chance just misses it there. Vaughn's doing a good job of getting in on the hands, though. There's been a lot of foul balls. These Dream hitters see it coming across the plate, but then it's got a little late break to it, getting in on their hands.
Can't get the 1-2 to go his way to make it 2-2. That was a borderline pitch that Dixon watched, and I think the catcher thought he had a strike call there.
Yeah, those are tough like that sometimes when the breaking ball stays up. Tough pitch for the umpire to call, but I think he got it right there, just missed top of the zone.
That's going to run the count full.
Yeah, Dixon working the count here. Like I said, he'll do this too. You know, he likes hitting early, but I think he's got a plan. You know, he's not swinging at first pitch just to swing at it. If it's a good pitch, he's going to take it, but he'll rattle off these 7-8 pitch at bats sometime as well.
See what he does as the count's full. Here's the delivery from Vaughn, and dribbles that one to third base. And
tough play, got underneath the glove of the third baseman.
So unable to make a play there, and the Dream's going to take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Dixon was going to make that one close anyways. He was busting it down the line.
All right, so Dixon shows off the speed, and we see a 2-1 lead now for the Dream here in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, I'd say he'd be running first pitch here. If not, definitely the second. He likes to run early in the count, so we'll see what he does here. I think he should. As long as I don't think Vaughn's got a read move, but as long as he gets him on a leg kick and not a slide step, he should be okay.
Branson Crawford sends that one foul. You see Crawford pitching in this game, but his day job is the top-ranked catcher in Georgia in 2026, number 22 overall. He's the 24th ranked catcher in the nation in the class. Makes the top 300 in that class at 287.
Yeah, Shooter Hunt, our national scouting director, he really likes Crawford as well. He got to see him at MPI, I believe. I think that one got away from him. Yep, Dixon goes to second. Look at him, he's going to third. Here he goes, tough play.
Throw is not in time. They're going to give it to him. I think we actually saw the base coach calling them safe, and then the umpire decided to say, not so fast, my friend. He's actually out. So it's 2-1 lead for the Dream as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Now we're going to head over to Simone Stanley, who is got some words to share with us from down in the dugouts.
I talked to both head coaches just before that inning wrapped up, and for the Sox, their coach Winters said that he likes where his team is at right now. He said he knows the powerful offense that the Dream has, and he's comfortable with the way his defense is playing. On the other side for the Dream, their head coach Green said he likes playing under pressure, and that pressure is actually a privilege. So he's comfortable being in this close game scenario right now.
All right, thanks, Simone. Yeah, pressure is a privilege, and we've seen the Dream put a lot of pressure on the opposition so far, and able to show what they can do under some themselves there as they take a 2-1 lead as we head to the top of the third inning here in the Underclass Fall World Series. Again, I'm Corey McCartney. That's PBR Georgia's Hudson Graham as we continue. Branson Crawford back out on the mound here for the Dream to start off the third inning. So we're going to see Wyatt Williams start things off for the East Coast Sox here, followed by Chris Fitz and Aaron Bailey.
Yeah, this is a good part of the Sox lineup. We'll see what Crawford can do here. This will be big if he can get him back in the dugout after a go ahead run in the second inning.
Williams, the second-ranked catcher in Alabama in 2026, and you will see Aaron Bailey in this inning. And mentioned before, but Bailey, number 2 among third basemen in Alabama in 26.
Yeah, Bailey, he had a good game on the mound in the semifinal game. He started, I think he threw 3 innings maybe. He was 83, 85, filled up the zone. So he got a chance on the mound as well.
So we saw the East Coast Sox used both Aaron Bailey and Aiden Craven in this last game just to get to this point. So we'll see what they have pitching-wise behind Luke Vaughn, who was a starter for them and looked pretty strong through 2 innings.
Yeah, it's all about getting here. You know, a lot of these teams, the Dream, they were able to get a run rule to save a little pitching, but East Coast, Divine was kind of putting some pressure on them late in the game. So I think they knew they had to close it out. So they brought in some of their guys as Crawford gets back.
Nice pitch there to make it 2-1, excuse me. We'll see what he does here in his next offering. Miss, going to make it 3-1.
Yeah, and Crawford, he's not going to shy away from his off-speed stuff. You know, even if he's missing with it some, he's still confident with it. That was a good breaking ball there. He just started in the bottom half of the zone, so broke out as he misses the fastball there.
All right, so a leadoff walk to Wyatt Williams. So here comes the left fielder, Chris Fitz. East Coast Sox trying to respond after giving up a couple runs there in the last half of an inning as the Dream pulled ahead 2-1. They've out-hit the Dream so far 4-2.
A lot of physical kids on this East Coast Sox lineup as well. You know, most of them I think are 26s.
Yep.
But good-looking lineup.
120-27 in Colson Mellon. But yeah, here comes, this is Chris Fitz, who is 6'3", 190 pounds out of East Limestone High School in Athens, Alabama.
Yeah, I actually think Colson might have got the last couple innings on the mound for East Coast. He got a chance. You could tell he was a younger kid, but high-waisted, upper 70s fastball, but could really spin the breaking ball at 2,300 spin rate. He was able to close it out against Divine to get him to the championship game. Yep, Crawford's back in there, 2-1 now. Crawford's the same way. The East Coast Sox coach was talking about pressure. You know, Crawford, he's not going to shy away from it either. He wants to be in the big spot and be able to help his team, you know, win with the game on the line.
He finds himself in a 3-1 count to Chris Fitz. Fitz sends that one foul. All right, the count is full. Crawford shoots it over to first base to keep Wyatt Williams at bay. Another foul. That pitch count getting close to 50 for Crawford here in the third inning.
Yeah, I didn't see these guys on, I guess yesterday I didn't get to see the Dream. I'm not sure who they threw yesterday, but not sure who all they got left. I know Espinosa will fill it up. Ground ball here, gets through the hole.
All right, so a walk and now a single. So we're going to have 2 on with no out. Here comes Aaron Bailey. Bailey out of McAdory High School. He's at 2026. Again, the second-ranked third baseman in Alabama in that class, 18 overall. Have a meeting at the mound here with Crawford.
Yeah, Bowl in the first bracket game, he went 4 innings, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. So they were able to get the run rule there. So that saved them some pitching. I know Robbins didn't throw many pitches on Friday when I saw him. So we could see Trey Robbins come back. He's a mid-80s lefty that.
Yeah, they threw both Crawford and Dixon yesterday in that 15-0 win over Blue Sox baseball. Crawford went 2 1/3, and Dixon threw 2/3 of an inning. Yeah, so I'd say Robbins is on the board. I don't think you threw many in that doubleheader. I think they put a doubleheader that first night. In that win against the Outlaws and that big 25-0 win. Because I know Bolin started the first game of the weekend on Friday night. And they got the win there, so. So after the meeting on the mound, Crawford starts Bailey off 1-0. In 2 on and no out, a walk and a single.
Good spot there. Guess he might have missed down a little. 2-0. Yeah, we got a 4-man crew out here from the umpires, so they should be on the toes.
There he gets a strike. And Bolin also threw on Friday. You mentioned against Outlaws Radcliffe team. He threw 3 innings then, and then Jason Speck also came in and threw 2/3 of an inning.
Yep, Crawford got the count even now, 2-2. Be a big strikeout here if he can get a swing and a miss. Good pitch, strike 3.
Punches him out for the first out, so that's going to be 1 down, again 2 on here in the inning for East Coast Sox. And as Aaron Bailey goes down and strikes, here comes Cohen Winter, the first baseman.
Bit of a late call there, but I think he got it right. Good pitch.
And an 11-0 win on Saturday against the Next Level Prospects Gold. Jared James threw 3 innings in that one. Chance Dixon also threw an inning. You mentioned that 25-zip win over Turn 2. Bryson Long actually threw 2 innings in that, and Kane Moy threw 1. So we've actually not seen Trey Robbins pitch to this point for the Dream.
Yeah, so I definitely think he's on the table in that situation. Good pitch, breaking ball. Got him 0-2. Another big pitch here for Crawford. You know, and guys like Crawford too, you know, guys get on base. I don't think he's worried. You know, a 2-1 game, I think he trusts his pitches. You know, a lot of times you'll see these guys put the pedal down whenever they got runners in scoring position. They got to make big pitches. Swing and a miss, fastball up, got him.
Back-to-back Ks for Branson Crawford there. So after a walk and a single, he has gone back-to-back with the Ks to get 2 down in the inning. Now we're going to see Jacob Hall, the second baseman. So Crawford has responded nicely after getting into some trouble. They had the mound meeting, and he proceeds to follow that with back-to-back Ks.
Coach will take credit for this here after that mound meeting, right?
That's right. He's closing in on 60 pitches, so we'll see if this is the last inning for him, if they let him maybe go 1 more. Not to tattle on any coaches, but I'll tell you, my son's team played in a tournament I will not name yesterday at another location. Faced a pitcher who threw 97 pitches at 14 years old.
That's tough. It's hard, you know. Baseball, it's changed so much. It's, you know, turning into a year-round sport nearly. Good swing there. Might have a play at the plate.
All right, he's going to hold it third as the throw comes into the catcher.
Good throw
right
from
field.
Good throw from Robbins to keep him there. Bases juiced, 2 outs. But yeah, baseball's changed so much. You know, really December, January is really not even January. Really, just the first half of January is really only so December is really our only downtime. You know, high school ball starting up. Martin Luther King weekend is first. Is when GHSA can start. You know, and a lot of these kids aren't getting a break. I know some play football, some play basketball, but, you know, some of these coaches are wanting these kids to focus on one sport sometimes, which gets tough for them, you know. Good pitch, breaking ball.
So Brooks Mellows watches that for strike 1.
Yeah, I was always one. I could always throw a lot of pitches, but I didn't throw hard enough for it to hurt me too bad, I guess.
Yeah, I was surprised to see
another good pitch.
Yeah, I was surprised to see a 14-year-old pitcher closing in on 100 pitches in a October tournament. But
yeah, that can be hard sometimes. I know these coaches get put in tough spots too. You know, late in tournaments, they're obviously the boys want to win, and you want to do what you can to win games. But there it goes, swing and a miss, got out of it, bases loaded.
3 strikeouts for Branson Crawford, and he leaves the bases loaded. 2-1 is the lead for the Dream in the top of the 3rd inning, and got to say, I mean, Crawford really responded well in terms of what he was able to do there. Got himself into some trouble with the walk, with the single, and then gives up another single. But in all, we see 3 Ks out of him, and you know, the pitch count sits about 60 right now. Not sure how deep he's going to go in this game, but he said he wanted to challenge these East Coast Sox hitters, see what they were able to do, if they were able to have an answer for his fastball. I think we've seen him kind of go a little bit deeper into his repertoire, but I think you got to be pretty impressed with what you've seen from Crawford in the mound so far.
Yeah, those last few hitters, he was able to flip his curveball over for strikes, you know, and then that makes the fastball that much more effective. So I know he got that last strikeout on a fastball up, and I think one of the others was also a fastball up. So whenever you can land that curveball, you know, in the zone, especially early in the count, it just makes your other pitches work that much better.
Well, this Dream team has been so explosive to this point offensively. We'll see if they can break out a little bit here. At this point, they've just got 2 hits. They've been out-hit 6-2 by the East Coast Sox so far, and a team that I mentioned outscored everybody through pool play. I mean, just absolutely rolling through opponents to the point where they had 60 runs allowing 3, by the way, and going 4-0. I mean, they were just getting it done in every
crazy
facet.
numbers.
So, yeah, we'll see what they're able to do. So, a new pitcher going to be in now here for East Coast
Looks
Sox.
like Williams,
yep.
I think.
Yep. So Wyatt Williams going to climb up on the mound, the catcher/third baseman.
Yeah, these kids, they're at the age too to where, a lot of these guys are still two-way in. So most of the time, these 15, 16U teams, they got, 8, 9 guys that have thrown before. The next year is really when we start seeing more POs come into play. But most of the time, these 15, 16U teams can be okay later in tournaments because they got a lot of guys that can pitch. Yeah, Wyatt, he's got some good numbers. He's been to quite a few PBR Alabama showcases, it looks like, and, has put up some really good numbers, blast, really good hand speed, exit velocity, 60. So good all-around player for Williams. I know I mentioned our assistant director really liked his swing early in the tournament. So should be a good one on the mound here as well.
Yeah, I've been obviously here at Lakepoint Sports a few times, played in the PBR Cup back in September, and then also here at the Underclass Fall World Series, and also been part of that. Be part of the upcoming Alabama-Mississippi border battle.
Yeah, like I mentioned, our Alabama guys, they do a great job running events. So I know a lot of these Alabama kids have been to showcases ran by the Sharps over there in Alabama. 85, first pitch, strike. So looks like the Dream's going to see a little velo here, so we'll see what they can do with that.
Yeah, the Sharps also helped out by the dad of Braves pitcher Kyle Wright, and just found out that Kyle's going to have shoulder surgery and is going to miss the entirety of the 2024 season. So maybe he'll be a bit of an asset for PBR Alabama over the next year.
Yeah, for sure. There's one of our interns. He's from Alabama. It's Crawford Singles there to left, it looks like. He's actually working with the Braves as well, so I think he might be helping me out some this winter while he's in the off season for the Braves. As Moy comes up here with nobody on. 92 EV there for Crawford. Really good swing.
All right, so runner at first now is Branson Crawford singles, and see if Moy, whose bat's been so explosive in this event, able to make something happen. You heard from him earlier as he caught up with our Simone Stanley before the game and talking about what this offense has been able to do and what he's been able to do himself. And a couple bombs. Let's see if he can add another one here. Just that power has just been absolutely on display. I believe we got Mom back there filming this AB.
Ball sneaks by, Crawford to second. Yeah, it's nearly a 20-mile-per-hour difference from Vaughn to Williams here on a couple pitches.
I would assume, though, with most of these Dream hitters that they want velo.
Oh, yeah, for sure. As you saw Crawford there, he barreled that one up.
It's almost more of a challenge for these guys when they don't see that kind of velocity from a pitcher. And Moy shoots that one into right field past the second baseman. Crawford's on his way home. He's going to be in time, so he's going to make it a 3-1 lead for the Dream as Kane Moy comes through with an RBI single into right field. That one 97.7 off the bat.
Yeah, another big EV barrel from Moy there. I saw him when I was walking in as he was hanging out in the bullpen in between games. I had our scouting staff had gotten a couple clips from him earlier in the day, and he said he hit 100. I'm assuming that was the home run.
It's a big kid.
Yeah, he's strong. He's got a good swing, too. Just big-bodied first baseman that can do damage at the plate.
Speaking of guys who can do damage at the plate, here is Trey Robbins. And Robbins and Moy both homered during that 25-zip win over turn 2.
Yeah, Robbins, like I mentioned, he's kind of been the same on the mound, but the bats really came alive since over the last year or so. So he'll be one to see, I think, this spring. We'll definitely have to get out to watch him at some point. Ball up the middle here. Tough play. Sneaks through.
So another hit. So that's 3 straight hits for the Dream as they now lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, that pitch 85. You know, Williams, he's filling it up. Good velo. Robbins was still out in front of that one a little bit as we got Jared James coming up to the plate.
So now 3 runs on 5 hits. James, as we mentioned, from Sprayberry, third baseman.
Yeah, Sprayberry, they've produced a few too. Me and Michael Chavis, we used to played against each other back in the day. I think he's with the Pirates now, maybe.
Yep,
yeah. He put up some crazy numbers in high school. Good swing. Second baseman hadn't played perfectly. Got safe, beat it out.
All right, so James shows off the wheels to beat that out as the ball goes to the second baseman. Kind of held it there for a second to see if he had a play at second. Goes to first instead and unable to get the out. So the bases are going to be loaded for David Oglesby Smith. Smith came through with a leadoff double the last half of an inning, or last inning for the Dream to get things started as they plated their first runs of this game. Shoots that foul down the third baseline.
Yeah, I need to just get out here. Keep this game close. If double play would be great, but ground ball here, getting out, gives you a chance.
Yeah, it either feels like we're on the verge of the Dream breaking this thing open or the East Coast Sox doing just enough to see if they can claw their way back. It feels like we're into that tipping point of the game here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, for sure. That ball gets by. Looks like the runner's going to hold. Good bounce off the back.
So Crawford holds at third, so the bases are going to continue to be loaded. Excuse me, that would be Moy at third. Crawford's already scored. Going back up the middle of the pitcher. The throw gets away from the catcher. That's why Williams looked like he had the lead runner. Throw going to not come, so the runner's going back to third. The bases are continue to be loaded, but 4-1 is now the lead for the Dream. That ball just got away from the catcher. Wyatt Williams making the right play, just like we saw Branson Crawford do a little bit earlier. Mentioned this with Williams, also a catcher, so just like Crawford, understanding where to go with the ball, and he could not execute the play like his opposing pitcher did earlier in the game.
Yeah, I've been there. I know that's obviously looks like a pretty easy play, but, you know, just coming off of a 85-mile-an-hour fastball and then a comebacker right back at you, you know, you got to slow your arm down and make a good throw. It's obviously easier said than done at times, but, you know, that would have been a big double play there probably.
So still no outs in the inning. 2 runs for the Dream here as they now lead 4-1.
Got Espinoza back up.
Espinoza shoots that one into right field. That's going to be down. Another run's going to score. Everyone just moving the line along. Now 5-1 is the Dream lead here in the bottom of the third. And Espinoza just poking the barrel out there and sending that one into right field for another RBI single.
Yeah, I'd love to see the bat of Espinoza continue this into the spring. The glove's always been there, but now if we can get this bat rolling, I think he can be a really good uncommitted 25 headed into next summer.
Yeah, just a 62-mile-an-hour exit velo, so basically just stuck the barrel out there and just working off what the pitcher gave him and just sent it into right field for the easy single. Meeting at the mound here with Wyatt Williams. Williams, I think, doing exactly what the East Coast Sox want him to do. Throw strikes and allow these hitters to let the defense work, and just have not been able to do anything as they just keep putting the ball in places where they just can't make a play.
Yeah, when a Dream lineup like this gets rolling, it can be tough to stop them, especially in a bases loaded, no out situation when you got balls falling that are only hit 62 off the bat.
There's the DH, David Baez.
I think Baez throws. I think he pitches as well. So I'm assuming Crawford won't go back out. You know, he might be begging to get back out there, but I'm assuming he won't be back out there, but we'll see. Good breaking ball there to get him 0-1.
Paez also a member of that Grayson team. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, Williams, he needs to do his best if he can get out of this until before the lineup rolls back over. Still gives him a chance.
Makes it 1-2. So Jake Boland, the third baseman, to follow. And we are back at the top of the order with Chance Dixon. This inning continues.
Good breaking ball, swing and a miss, got him there.
So he goes down on strikes, and here's Jake Boland. Chance Dixon lurking as a leadoff hitter. Boland sends that one to short, makes the flip to second. Throw to first, not going to happen. So another run's going to score.
Nearly slid through the bag there. I thought the umpire might go for obstruction there, but it didn't look like he got up. He stayed down, luckily, so I know if he would have popped up, he might have got him, but he stayed down and let the fielder have a chance to throw it.
So the Dream just piecemealing this thing together. It's now 6-1 as the lead. They've really not had the big hit. They've just been moving the runners along and taking what the pitching's giving them and have taken full advantage in this half of an inning.
Yeah, Crawford, he got this whole inning started, so he's obviously helping himself out on the mound a little bit to get him a lead.
Well, he sets in the on-deck circle, so we'll see if he gets to hit for the second time in the bottom of the third. 6-1 now the lead for the Dream here in the Underclass Fall World Series Final.
Good swing there from Dixon. He's on it. He sees the ball really well. I've been impressed with the way he's been swinging in the bat this weekend. He doesn't take good pitches often. He knows what he's looking for, and he's got a good approach, a little bit of a backside approach, but if he gets his pitch, there he goes again, backside, breaks his bat.
All right, that one to the third baseman throw across the diamond is in time to get them out of the inning. But we've seen the Dream take control here. 6-1 is the lead through 3 innings in the Fall Underclass World Series. We're going to be back with more shortly here from Lakepoint Sports. Welcome back to Lakepoint Sports. This is the Underclass Fall World Series Final. Corey McCartney along with PBR Georgia's Hudson Graham. 6-1 is the lead for the Dream here, scoring 4 runs in the bottom of the third to take control here. Branson Crawford is coming back out onto the mound. Surprisingly, he's at 60 pitches already. I think we thought maybe he might not come out, but Hudson, here he is, another chance to get back on the mound for the Dream.
Yeah, knowing Crawford, I'm sure it was pretty easy to convince his coach to let him run back out for at least one more, get a shutdown inning, and get him back in the dugout and see if they can finish it off.
Well, he's got the bottom of the order here with Luke Vaughn, with leadoff hitter Aiden Craven to follow for East Coast Sox. Then Nelson Barthel. Dream 4 runs in that third inning as they now have 6 runs on 7 hits. Still waiting again for their offense to really explode and get that big hit to kind of break things open, but we saw them just kind of piece it together that last half an inning, taking what the pitching was giving them, and Branson Crawford got it all started, and here he is on the mound with a chance to answer it with a shutdown inning of his own.
Yeah, and Crawford knows, obviously, that first inning he was filling it up and they were hitting him a little bit, but now with a 5-run lead, he can attack guys and go right back at them, force them to put it in play.
That miss going to make it 2-2. Vaughn walked in his first at bat. And now facing a full count. He might walk in his second as well. That was one of 2 walks that Crawford's had so far. That one into left field, going to be down for a stand-up double.
Yeah, I couldn't see that one. Imagine it just hung out right on the line. Had a little tail to it, so probably bounced into the fence. Easy stand-up double for.
Yeah, one of the little quirks here of our fields at Lakepoint Sports is the openings of the fence there in the corners. The ball skips away there. And guys are going to have that ground rule double.
Yeah, I've had many times they're asking us why we don't shut the gate down there, you know. And you figured if it was a gate, we'd shut it, but there's just a big opening, partly because I think it gets our netting on and off. You know, teams will run out the fields, and we got big netting that we need to get it on and off. And then also it's a safety thing too. I think if we need somebody to come on the field, they can. But many of times the ball sneaks into there. Good swing from Cravens there. Looks like he just pulled it foul.
We're just robbing guys at triples,
I know,
left and right.
I know. I got to be aware of it too, though. You know, sometimes we'll see guys not throw their hands up, and they'll run on out there to get it, and the guy just keeps on running.
All right, 1-1 is the count to Aiden Craven, the center fielder. I feel like I've seen more pink bats in the last month and a half than I've seen in my life.
I know these accent colors is becoming quite popular. I think Acuna was the one that led the way on that with his, you know, he mixes it up. Lime green, light blue, neon yellow, or he brought back the yellow, you know, that was in the Tomahawk. So I think he led the way with that. And now we're starting to see these pink bats and pink and brighter color accessories.
So nearly an opposite field extra base hit for Craven, but couldn't get that one a foul to drop fair. So 2-2 is the count. Another foul.
Yeah, Craven's got a great swing. I really like Craven's. First time seeing him. Obviously, I think he's been at Lakepoint in the past at Junior Future Games, but just a really fun player at the top of the lineup. You love seeing kids like this that play the game hard, and you can tell he's just locked in up there as he fouls a couple off. Another foul there. Out in front just a hair, but I think that was the plan. Fastball up. Maybe got on him a little bit, but did a good job of fouling it off.
So no outs, a runner at second off of the double. 2-2 is the count to Craven. Shoots that one past the second baseman for another hit. Craven's making his way home. The throw is going to be a little short. The throw to second, though, also not in time. So Craven's going to be standing in second, and a run has crossed for East Coast Sox to make it 6-2 here in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, great at bat from Cravens there. I imagine, I need to check with the Sharps, but I imagine Cravens has got a shot to come back to Lakepoint Sports next summer as a future gamer. Come full circle as he came to a junior future games, and now he's up for the big boy event. So we might see him back here later next summer.
Well, he's going to give way to Nelson Barthel. He stands at second base. Again, no outs in this inning.
Yeah, at this point here, you know, you just got to collect an out, get that first out, and see what Crawford can do.
He's up to 75 pitches now. Step off, and Craven hits back to second.
Yeah, Craven now he's right back off the bag. Here, pick off, beats it back. Craven's got the old school New Balance cleats that New Balance just came out with. I've been seeing those around the park a good bit. They look like the standard sneaker, but they got cleats on the bottom.
Yes, good luck.
Yeah, our PBR LP tournament director here, he's rocking him a pair.
The 2-0 sends that foul.
Yeah, these trends, they always seem to repeat themselves. You know, these were the shoes that were big when I was coming up in high school, and then they went away, and now they're coming back. Same thing with Crocs. Next thing you know, we're going to have some Crocs with some spikes on them out here.
That's right. I think somebody could pull that off. Had to be in sport mode.
I can't remember the pitcher. I like the Vans that they've come out with.
Lorenzen wears.
Yeah, he's got some spikes on some Vans. I like those. You'll like this. A friend of ours actually, she just got a pair of custom Air Forces from Peter Moylan's wife. I believe she
does paint
she
them.
Paints
Yeah.
them. And some friend of ours was actually showed us a picture that she made some baseball ones for her son.
She's really talented. Looks like that's going to be it for Branson Crawford as he gives up a walk, his third of the game. So 78 pitches. That's going to be the end of the day for Branson Crawford. So the new pitcher for the Dream is going to be Jason Speck from Union Grove. Jason, a 6'1", 172-pound righty in 2025. He's that fastball about 82. Also works in a curveball, 70-71, and the changeup.
Yeah, I believe he was at our scout day. I think Speck's one that in this situation, I think they go to him because they know he's going to fill up the zone, you know, give the defense a chance. They just starting to get through the heart of the order. I think we got Williams coming up, so big AB here with no outs and 2 runners on.
A little surprised they're not going to Trey Robbins. You mentioned he hasn't pitched at all yet in this tournament. And, you know, Robbins a guy that gets it up to almost 90 on the fastball.
Yeah, I think they trust the offense. You know, if we see East Coast put another couple on the board, you know, and East Coast holds them there the following inning, we might see Robbins back up in a, you know, never know, 2-3 run game.
So they're going to be a pitching change for the Dream. We're going to have a pitching change of our own as Hudson Graham's going to make his exit, and Avery Hunt is going to step in his place here in the top of the 4th inning with 6-2 lead for the Dream here over the East Coast Sox in the Underclass Fall World Series. Avery, man, good to have you back in.
I know. It's coming a little relief appearance here to midway through the game.
Well, that was how we timed it. We said whenever the Dream decide to make their pitching change, we're going to make a change of our own.
It's always good to be back. It's our 3rd time together doing this. So.
Yeah, we were talking so much about this, you know, this explosive Dream offense, and you know, just 60 runs through pool play. They allowed just 3 runs, and really haven't been challenged to this point, and kind of got themselves in a little bit of a predicament early. But we kind of just saw them cobble something together. That last run of at bats for them to get 4 runs, and it wasn't the explosive offense that we've come to expect from them. They just kind of took what the East Coast Sox pitching was giving them and just pieced it together, and now they got a comfortable lead here in the top of the 4th.
Absolutely, they were able to get the barrel to a few balls there, and normally in baseball that tends to tends to work out in your favor if you can barrel up some baseballs, and had a few breaks go their way. So good bottom half of the inning there for them. But East Coast trying to answer back even more here in the top of the fourth. So
you got Wyatt Williams, the catcher, who's now pitching for East Coast Sox up to bat now. Chris Fitz to follow, and Aaron Bailey if the inning continues. Getting no outs here in the top of the fourth. East Coast Sox threatening. Got their second run of the game. Speck misses. Ransom Crawford told me he wasn't sure how long he was going to go in this game. Threw nearly 80 pitches to get into the fourth inning.
Was able to, give the Dream a good start, keep him in the ball game kind of while the offense got going, and luckily they helped him out a little bit there in the bottom half of the third, and he'll be in line for the win if they hold on to this one.
So 2 on, no outs. Williams sends that one to right field. Second baseman's on the mark, and so is the right fielder. Make the play. The runners aren't going anywhere. The throw to third. It's cut off by short, so 1 down in the inning for new pitcher Jason Speck. Here is Chris Fitz. Fitz from East Limestone High School in Athens, Alabama. 6'3", 190. Fitz gets that exit velo into the 90s.
Perfect start there if you're the Dream, bringing a guy out of the bullpen, and he gets a first guy he faces to fly out to right field. So, kind of the Dream scenario for them there. Still not out of it yet, but, a good step in the right direction for sure.
Comes the 1-0. The runner's going to go. So now got him at the corners.
Timed that one up good there and was able to swipe third. Wouldn't be surprised to see the runner at first base here follow suit and try to get it to second.
The 2-0 from Speck. That's going to apparently hit him, so we're going to have the bases loaded.
Looks like it got a piece of the catcher too on the ricochet, so those are always tough behind the plate, the slight foul tips and the hit by pitches where you can't really, nothing really you can do, but I hope he's okay back there.
Now it's Aaron Bailey. Aaron, again, the second-ranked third baseman in Alabama in 2026, number 18th ranked player overall. He's 1 for 2 so far in the day with a RBI and a strikeout. And Bailey responsible for the first run of the game as he scored Barthel on an RBI single.
It's good hitters count here, 2-0. So good spot to try and do some damage here with the bases loaded.
Watches strike one. Speck misses there to make it 2-2. Shoots that one in center field. Going to make the catch. The runners are going to tag, so 1 run's going to score for East Coast Sox, and now got him at second and third. So Aaron Bailey with a productive out as he hits the RBI sac fly to advance the runners. and get a run on the board to make it 6-3 here in the top of the fourth.
Really good job by the base runner there at first base, tagging up and, going with everybody else. Sometimes you'll see guys go halfway, but it looks like he got a good read on it and was able to advance to get 2 runners back in scoring position. So really good job there. They checked back to first to see if maybe he left early with the 4-man crew. Good job there being on top of that one.
He'll give away to the first baseman, Cohen Winter. Jacob Hall, second baseman, on deck. Winter watches that for strike 1. Avery, I think you may watch more games here than anybody, so I'm always interested to know as we get into the latter parts of a tournament, kind of teams and players that have stuck out to you as that's when we might have to continue this conversation in the next half of an inning, as the throw to first base is going to be in time. So actually, let's just keep this thing going. I do think you watch more games here than anybody does. Who's stuck out to you here in the Underclass Fall World Series?
Obviously the Dream with their run and pool play was just about as impressive as you can get with 60 runs scored. I think they had a game that was a 25-0 ball game. So, they've been very impressive offensively. Hit a few home runs. My mind's blanking. The Team Elite guys had a good weekend again, following their upper class guys, and Divine was able to get out of their pool with a big win yesterday and performed well, made it to the semis today. So good to see Georgia teams performing well for sure. But it was an all-around good event. Had a lot of close pulls when it came to making bracket play. So all around a good event, and we've seen some good talent, some good arms, and obviously some good offense with some of the scores we've seen.
Yeah, you mentioned that Team Elite team. I caught up with Sterling Coaxum, the Clemson commit from them, along with Luke Bellardo and Jordan Burwell from USA Prime Scouts. So, we're not seeing any of the committed players today, but there's been a number of them, obviously, throughout this tournament. So, big showing this weekend as the schedule winds down a little bit in terms of the fall slate of games here. But a really interesting matchup here, because you think about the amount of highly ranked players on this Dream team. I mean, they as Hudson had mentioned, they've played in so many events, and this just seems like they're finally putting it all together in one tournament. We're just kind of seeing them do everything throughout these days.
Absolutely. I was talking with their coaching staff today. It seems like every event they've been in, they've made it to bracket and been able to make a deep run. Seems like this event's the deepest one they've made so far, but performing well here, and every time they show up, they perform as a team and as an organization. So, a lot of really good players, and obviously with the new recruiting stuff, we're kind of seeing it now. A lot of the underclass guys aren't committing as early, just with the NCAA rules. So, we're going to be able to see more and more of these guys before they commit, and a lot of our ranked guys won't be committing until that junior year, obviously.
So we're going to see a new pitcher for East Coast Sox here in the top of the 5th inning, now going to be Cohen Winter out of Athens High School in Athens, Alabama, primarily a first baseman. He's going to be facing Branson Crawford to start off this half an inning. Crawford got things started the last time he was up for the Dream, as they put together 4 runs in their last at bat. Here's got the one guy who brought the different uniform.
Always, especially in the fall, especially with the high school season winding down, obviously. So, but yeah, it's always interesting to see. When I played, you'd have guys out there with the duct tape uniform. We've went away from that, thankfully.
A nice breaking ball for a strike from Winter. Nice day so far from Crawford.
He started the last inning, obviously, with a line drive single to left. Good piece of hitting. Was able to get the barrel there, drive it to left over 90 exit velo. So see if he can't replicate that here to spark another big inning for the Dream.
Well, he's got a hit and a walk so far. His team leads 6-3 here in the bottom of the 4th. Here I am saying it's the 5th inning, trying to move time ahead, I guess, the bottom of the 4th still.
Absolutely. Still 36 minutes left in this ball game with the time limit today, so still plenty of time for things to kind of shake out a little bit as Crawford gets it started once again, getting on base to start the inning. See if we can't once again see something similar here from the Dream.
So he walks, and here comes Kane Moy, and Kane's got, as we mentioned, 2 home runs already in this tournament. He had a triple in the last game to get the Dream to the final. Just been a big show for him across these few days.
Yeah, he's had a big weekend from the left side, been able to hit with some power as well. You know, the advanced feel for the barrel as a underclassman, so that's always a positive for the younger guys, being able to find the barrel as they kind of grow into their body and get stronger and mature into their later years in high school and, of course, into college.
A big swing from Kane Moy, and that's going to make it 0-2. He wanted all that.
He did. He was just a touch out in front there of that breaking ball.
I asked him if you liked the highlight that's on up across the Lakepoint Sports channels with him and Trey Robbins hitting home runs in that 25-0 win. He said, yeah, but you didn't get a good swing of mine.
I wish.
Still hit a home run.
Yeah, I know. If you're having bad swings that go over the fence, that's always.
Yeah.
I would say that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I wish some of my bad swings would have went over the fence a little bit. It's like we had time in the box there with a 2-strike count.
It's 1-2 count. Winner bounces the breaking ball. Eight hits for East Coast Sox so far, 7 for the Dream. Dream leads 6-3. Seen a couple errors from East Coast Sox so far. Comes the 2-2. You got Branson Crawford on first base. Moy swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes. And here comes Trey Robbins.
Moy got a steadied out of the breaking ball there. Got him swinging on 3 of them. So wouldn't be surprised to see something similar here with Robbins at the plate. Trying to get the big power hitters a little bit out front.
Exactly how he starts him out. 61.9 on the radar gun. Winner's 0-1 to Robbins. Oh, that's going to miss. Make it 1-1. Another miss. 2-1s now the count.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Robbins try to get all of 1 here with a plus hitters count.
It's 3-1. I think we saw when they went to some velocity with Williams, that was exactly what these Dream hitters wanted. You didn't exactly get that early in the goings with Vaughn, and now you're back to a little bit different look here with Winters and trying to take these guys out of their comfort zone.
Absolutely. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit last week, but you get, late in these events, everybody's trying to kind of piece it together on the mound, have some position guys throw in stuff like that to try and, just find some guys that can get some outs because most of your arms have already thrown, and guys this age don't want to run those guys out there for too many pitches.
Robbins got sick of waiting and flicks that one to second base. He's able to get the throw to second to get Crawford out, but the throw back to first, not in time. So I think Roberts is just getting frustrated and just finally stuck the barrel of the bat out there and said, I don't want to walk, and ends up trading that for an out. All right, so here's Jared James. James, as we mentioned, out of Sprayberry, the 17th ranked third baseman in Georgia in 25, number 223 overall in the class.
Back to the breaking ball again there. Start him out, missed just below the zone. Good job by the catcher there. Keeping that in front and keeping a guy out of scoring position with 2 outs.
Skies that one. Second baseman camps underneath it to get out of the half of an inning. The Dream are leading 6-3 as they unable to get anything going there. Strand 1 in that half of an inning. They've got 7 hits so far to the Dreams 8. We're going to be joined shortly. Simone Stanley is going to be joining us with the Dream coach, and this Dream team, as we mentioned, has just been absolutely explosive throughout the proceedings here. Again, they outscored opponents 60-3 during pool play. This has been really their tightest matchup of the entire tournament. Their first win coming on Friday, 9-3. Then on Saturday they went 25-0 and 11-0. Sunday they went 15-0. They started off today's pool bracket play with a 12-1 win, and then were 9-1 winners over BC Athletics and are able to get to the final. This has really been their tightest matchup so far, as it's just a 3-run game going into the 5th inning. All right, so now we're going to send it over Simone Stanley, who's going to be joined by the Dream coach.
Coach, you told me earlier that pressure is a privilege. Are you feeling any pressure right now?
No, I don't feel the pressure personally. I think these guys start to feel a little bit of pressure. But I heard it from Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, that pressure is a privilege. When you earn the right to be somewhere, earn the right to be celebrated when you get beaten, that's pressure. So no, I do not feel the pressure, but these guys definitely do.
Okay, so you brought in your relief pitcher, Jason Speck, last inning. What did you like from what you saw from him?
He did well. He eliminated some of the runners that were on base. So for us, that was huge. Especially for a kid like that, getting his confidence up. He hasn't, he's coming off an injury, so just getting his confidence up was a huge feat for him. So. Okay,
and what's it going to take to close this one out?
Pitching. I think we'll be able to swing the bats well enough, but I think our pitching is definitely going to have to step up to win this one. So.
All right, Coach. Yeah. Corey.
All right, thank you, Simone, and again, the Dream leading 6-2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Some nice words there from the Dream coach. Yeah, he doesn't have to feel the pressure. His kids got to feel it, and they've responded so far to it and lead 6-3 here in the top of the 5th inning. Going to see Jason Speck, as he mentioned, come in relief. I didn't realize Jason's actually coming off of an injury, but has looked pretty strong here in this relief effort. So see what he's able to do. Jacob Hall up to bat now for the East Coast Sox. He'll be followed by Brooks Mellows and Luke Vaughn.
Good start the inning here. 2-2 count. Try to get that leadoff guy out and proceed from there.
So the count is full to Hall. Speck sails that one over the catcher's head to the backstop. So we're going to have a leadoff walk, and Speck kind of shakes his arm a little bit. So here's Brooks Mellows. Even got Luke Vaughn to follow. We're in the top of the 5th inning here in the Underclass Fall World Series final. That one inside makes Mello have to dance a little bit to get out of the way.
The Dream staff here would love to see Speck fill it up and give his defense a chance to make some plays behind him, especially with a 3-run lead here late in this ball game. With, like we said, the 2-hour time limit in play, this could possibly be the last inning. We'll have to see how things shake out, but love to see him be able to fill it up, get some ground ball outs, get those bats back up there and let them hit a while.
So Brooks Mellon is the 8th-ranked shortstop in Alabama 2026. He's out of Tuscaloosa County. Colson Mellon, also a member of this team. Assume that's little brother. And Brooks sends that one into left field, so the runner's going to advance. So it'll be at first and second with no outs. Tying run's going to come to the plate here in the form of Luke Vaughn.
It's a good effort out there in left field. Sliding attempt, I think it just hit off the end of the glove. But good job to keep it in front and keep that lead runner at second base.
Not sure what's going on here as we await Vaughn to come to the plate. All right, it's got to get the right bat. Can't have a bat, you got to get the right bat.
Absolutely. Might have had the pink one. Looks like he's got the blue one now. I know you and Hudson were talking about earlier with the new style with the colorful bats and colorful accessories. So we got the blue one. We're ready to go.
All right. Looks good. All right, let's do this. Speck glances back at the runner. Gets bunt down. Third baseman crashes, makes the throw to first in time, but runners both going to advance with the sacrifice to get things moved along in the base pass.
Good job there getting the bunt down. As a left-handed hitter, it's easier to bunt it down the third base line where your third baseman has to crash in. You can't get that force out at third and move both runners over. It's always a productive out to have, and really good job there of laying down the first pitch.
Yep, and he does his job because we're back at the top of the order with Aiden Craven and Nelson Barthel to follow. So East Coast Sox have the guys they want at the plate now with an opportunity to do something with one out here in the top of the 5th.
Absolutely. Following that bat Craven had last inning here, I mean, no other guy I don't think you'd rather have at the plate than him, with two guys in scoring position.
Got that advance set up, and he just looks ready to do some damage at the plate. That ball is going to skip away, and the run's going to score, make it 6-4.
Had a swing and a miss there, and it got by the catcher, so couldn't tell if that ball was foul, but doesn't look like it caught a piece of the pink bat there, so a run will score for the Sox.
All right, things getting a little bit dicey here in the top of the 5th. The lead down to 2 for the Dream. 1 down. Craven watches that, just catch the outside corner of the plate for the strike.
The bat's definitely not over here. We saw him last time be able to foul off a few pitches with 2 strikes, so still have to bear down and get this out.
Now another one glances away. Here comes another run. That's going to be 6-5. So a little bit of an issue here with Jason Speck and his catcher. So we've now seen 2 runs score during this AB for Aiden Craven to cut that lead for the Dream to 1 here in the top of the 5th. Now 3-2.
As a catcher, you hate those balls that just clip the front edge of the plate and bounce over your head. You drop down to block and you're used to the impact of the ball, and then all of a sudden there's nothing there, and it's like, whoa, what happened here?
It's going to be a walk. I would anticipate somebody's coming out to, yep, here comes coach to have a word with Jason Speck. Shaking his arm a little bit. I'm sure he's frustrated. That's going to be it for Jason Speck. So see what the Dream do here. All right, so they've made a pitching change, and now we're going to see who Nelson Barthel is going to be facing.
We're going to go into another right-handed reliever here out of the bullpen to try and keep that tying run at first base here with 1 out. Making sure everybody's on the same page and with signs and things like that.
So this is going to be David Oglesby Smith from Paideia. He's going to come in to pitch.
We still see a lot of the original way of giving signs here in our events. The pitch comm has not made it down to Lakepoint Sports
I
yet.
did see during the National Academies Association event, some of those schools were using it.
Mm-hmm. They have. We've had a few teams use the earpiece, like you see a lot in college baseball. I think we'll probably see more and more of that, obviously, as we move forward with the GHSA this year, making those legal. So I'm assuming guys will get more comfortable with that, and we'll see some more guys with the earpiece in. Kind of how you see a lot of SEC, ACC games, guys, catchers behind the plate have them in. So not sure if we'll see any of the pads like we have in the big leagues, where guys are pressing the button and it's saying it in the ear.
So to kind of speak to the embarrassment of riches that this dream team has with their talent level, I mean, David Oglesby Smith now coming into pitch is the 12th ranked right-hander in Georgia in the class of 2026. Out of, again, Paideia High School. 83 mile an hour on the fastball, throws the curveball, 69 to 71 range, works in a slider as well as a changeup. So I want to anticipate he's not going to mess around with these East Coast Sox hitters. We're probably going to see a pretty heavy dose of fastballs here as the spec control got the best of him in this inning.
Comes right in and fills it up with strike one. It's really, like I said, out of the bullpen, just want guys to come in and be able to throw a lot of strikes.
Throw over to first to keep Craven in his place. Fires that one foul. Couple runs here scored as the ball got away from Speck and his catcher to make it 6-5, the Dream lead, down to 1 run.
Looks like the catcher there is wanting a high and out fastball, maybe anticipating the steal here with 2 strikes.
Whew, gets the punch out in the inside corner. Nice pitch. It's 78.4.
Comes right out of the bullpen. 3 straight fastballs, 3 straight strikes. Really good job there, filling up the zone. Missed his spot a little bit there on the 0-2 pitch, but still got the inner half, so still able to get the punch out despite missing his spot.
Well, he's now facing Wyatt Williams, Chris Fitz to follow if the inning continues. Again, this is really the first time the Dream have been challenged throughout this event. East Coast Sox putting the pressure on him here in the top of the 5th. Remember, it's not where it hits the glove, it hits the catcher's mitt. It's where it comes across the strike zone. So it might look good when it hits the glove, but that just a little bit too high coming through the zone. He's not letting Aiden Craven go anywhere.
Keeping a close eye on him over there at first base, with him being the tying run. Don't want him to get in a scoring position here with 2 outs.
Swing and a miss. Throw to second, not in time. So Aiden Craven takes second base. They're going to call interference.
Looks like he came over the line a little bit there, interfered with the catcher. We see a lot of our high school guys emphasize that. So really good call there.
All right, so batter interference is going to be the end of the inning. 6-5 is the lead for the Dream as we march on here in the Underclass Fall World Series. We'll be back with more shortly from Lakepoint Sports. Welcome back to Lakepoint Sports. This is the Underclass Fall World Series championship game. East Coast Sox against the Dream. 6-5 is the lead for the Dream as we now head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Corey McCartney along with PBR Georgia's Avery Hunt. David Oglesby Smith, who was just on the mound for the Dream, is going to start things off this half an inning, followed by Alex Espinoza and David Paez. East Coast Sox able to get a couple runs this last half an inning to make this a little bit closer than maybe we anticipated. Got the Dream, we're going to take control, but the East Coast Sox just keep sticking around. They followed a 4-run 3rd inning for the Dream with 2 runs in the 4th and 2 runs in the 5th to cut this down to 1. Let's see what happens here with Cohen Winter on the mound against David Oglesby Smith, and Oglesby Smith just puts a barrel down and sends that one into center field, but
looks like that was fielded on a hop out there in center. So good start here for the Dream here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
So Oglesby Smith just sticks the barrel down there, and 73.9 exit velo gets him a leadoff single. Now here comes Alex Espinoza.
It's very rare that we see our top 2 seeds make it all the way through to play each other in the championship game, but that's a instance we have here, so that's always a good thing. 2 teams that performed really well in pool play.
Winner bounces ball 1.
Seeing a steady diet there of the big slow breaking ball. Would be surprised if the Dream tried to swipe a few bases here and would pick that pitch out and find it a good one to run on.
2-0 count to Espinoza. I'm not going to get that strike. Looked awfully close, but makes it 3-0. So Oglesby Smith's single, leadoff single, followed by a walk to Alex Espinoza. So it'll be 2 on for David Paez. Paez, the DH, now has a runner in scoring position. Dream looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 5th, either some insurance or a lengthy at bat that could get this game over with. He gets the bunt down. Runners both going to advance. Paez out at first, so another sacrifice bunt, but the runners both advance, so got him at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
It's another good sacrifice bunt there to move 2 guys into scoring position. We saw it last inning pay off for the East Coast Sox, so we'll see if it happens here for the Dream. And guys on 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out. It's almost the exact scenario we had last inning.
He gives way to Jake Boland. Boland, the 13th ranked 3rd baseman in Georgia out of Loganville in 2026. Number 132 overall. Boland is 0 for 2 so far with a strikeout, but he did have a sacrifice RBI.
Breaking ball in the dirt there. Good work behind the plate to keep it in front to prevent that run from scoring from 3rd on the pass ball.
Boland sends the 1-1 foul.
A little bit out front there. Got it off the end and spun it foul on the first baseline.
That one skips away. The runner's not going to go. Makes it 2-2. So up next after this, the PBR Fall Classic, and then we'll get into the, as you mentioned, the events with the younger players as we move a little bit further down here on the calendar.
Absolutely. We'll have a lot of good talent coming in With the younger guys as well, not just our high school guys. Excited to see some of our former junior future game guys in the 14U age group coming down here in the last 2 weeks of October. So very excited about those events, and a lot of talented teams coming from across the country for both of those.
All right, Boland finds himself in a 2-2 count. Fires that one back to the backstop foul.
Putting up a good fight here with 2 strikes. These are at-bats that got to find a way to put the ball in play, especially with the guys in scoring position, less than 2 outs. So doing a really good job hanging in there here, see if he can finish the at-bat. Another really good job behind the plate there. That's 3 balls this at-bat that he's been able to keep in front, from being able to stop him from going to the backstop and allowing that run to score. So excellent job there behind the plate.
Full count to Boland. Swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes to make it 2 outs. Back to the top of the order and Chance Dixon. Dixon, as Hudson Graham had mentioned, likes to be aggressive early in the count, so we'll see if that's his recipe here. Dream looking for some insurance runs as they lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Able to lay off a breaking ball just in the outside corner.
A slower velo here. Dixon needs to think left center, kind of keep the front side in, be able to drive something. That left center field gap will kind of keep you on it a little bit longer.
Another miss, make it 2-0.
Looks like we're going to have an offensive timeout here. As a foul ball rolls back to the catcher, so love to see that.
All right, here we go again. 2-0 is the count to Chance Dixon. 2 out in the inning. Runners at second and third. Living on that outside corner. He's not getting that call. Makes it 3-0. Dream trying to add some insurance as they scored 4 in the third, but were answered with 2 runs in the 4th and 5th from the East Coast Sox. And Chance Dixon going to get himself a walk to load the bases for Branson Crawford.
Similar to the last inning with the East Coast, we got the right guy at the right time. If you're the Dream, one of your hotter hitters coming to the plate with bases loaded, 2 outs with a chance to extend your lead and give yourself some breathing room as you go into the top half of the 6th.
Ball went to Crawford. That one skips away from the catcher, but no runners coming home. Gonna think better as they see if Crawford can deliver instead.
Going to sound like a skipping record here, but another really good job behind the plate to stop a run from scoring. He's catcher back there working really hard to keep that lead at 1 for the time being.
Crawford has the shimmy his way out of that one, makes it 2-0. Watches ball 1, or excuse me, strike 1. I guess I used to seeing balls outside the zone in this at bat. That makes it strike 1, so 2-1 is the count.
Good job by Crawford there to work things full, so everybody will be in motion here to try to stay out of the force play with 3-2, 2 outs. So any ball in the outfield for a hit, we'll obviously expect to score 2.
So Crawford walks. Oglesby Smith crosses the plate to make it 7-5. Kane Moy now comes to bat with the bases loaded.
Moy has an opportunity here, obviously, to kind of blow this thing open with a ball in the gap. So take ball 1 here. Strike zone's kind of evading Winter a little bit here, so we'll see if he can get back in there and even the count at 1-1. Right on cue, able to spot up with a fastball.
That's going to make it 2-1. 7-5 now the lead for the Dream. As they walked in, David Oglesby Smith started off this inning with a single.
We've seen Winter be able to get the breaking ball over for a strike in his first inning and a third or so, and he's kind of lost the release point on that a little bit there. Let's see if he can get back in there to get the 3-2.
Nope, going to walk in another run. So now 8-5 the lead. Here comes Trey Robbins. The line's going to just move along.
Looks like we're going to have to tie our shoe here as we get ready to hit. As we lay down the pink bat next to Trey Robbins.
A little harder to tie the shoes with the batting gloves on.
Absolutely. I don't think I could do it. I was never able to do it as a player, so.
I'll add that to the Trey Robbins scouting report. Watch a strike 1. Make it 1-1. We've seen the Dream get 2 runs via walk in this inning to extend their lead to 8-5. Now 3-1. In danger here of walking in another run to extend that lead again. Yep, so Trey Robbins going to walk, and now 9-5 is the lead. That's 3 runs in the inning via walk for the Dream. That's going to be ball game. So the Dream 9-5 winners over East Coast Sox. They are your Underclass Fall World Series champions. The offense never really broke out like we've seen them do throughout this event, despite the fact that they get 9 runs on 8 hits. We really just saw them kind of take advantage of what the East Coast Sox pitchers were giving them. I got to say that, I mean, their pitching did enough to keep them in this game. We saw Branson Crawford come in, throw 78 pitches to start things off. Things got a little away from Jason Speck, but David Oglesby Smith comes in and just had a really nice 2/3 of an inning, including a strikeout, and then leads things off with a single. Avery, impressions here with this Dream team. I mean, we saw them be just so dynamic throughout, and I think you can just really simply say today they just took advantage of what they were given.
Absolutely, and you know, it's just about as impressive of an offensive performance as you're going to have from a team. Obviously, in the 4-day event, I mean, I think 60 runs in pool play, over 25 today. I mean, it's the offense propelled them, but obviously their pitching did a good job. I think this is the most runs they gave up in a game. So, I mean, really good job all around for those guys, and it's good to see. the team's embracing each other here after the game as well.
Yeah, great moment here as these players all come together around the mound here and share a moment after battling it out over 5 innings. Great show of sportsmanship there after they shake hands. All right, so again, 9-5 is the win for the Dream. We're going to be back here with Lakepoint Sports shortly. I'm Corey McCartney. I've been joined by PBR Georgia's Avery Hunt. Avery, man, great to have you on again.
Absolutely, man. It was a pleasure as always. I'm sure we'll be back some more this fall, so look forward to it.
All right, we'll do it again real soon. We'll be back with more here shortly. We're going to have our player of the game as we continue from Emerson, Georgia.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back here at Lakepoint Sports, this has been the Underclass Fall World Series, the Dream 9-5 winners over the East Coast Sox. I'm now joined by our player of the game, David Oglesby-Smith from Paideia. David, man, congratulations on a great game.
Thank you.
So you end up going 2 for 3 with a double and RBI, coming in with that relief effort in 2/3 of an inning, get a strikeout. You guys have been so dominant throughout this event. We talked about this. 9-5 was a score. This game felt a lot closer than a final of 9-5. Tell me about your own performance, though. I mean, especially at the plate, you get things started in that last half an inning with the single. You had the double earlier on. How did you feel like performance-wise you did today?
I feel like I did pretty well because the leadoff job is always to get on base, and I feel like I did that pretty well when I was leading off. And, yeah, I just got on base and did everything that I had to do.
Tell me about this offense. I mean, you guys scored 60 runs. You guys scored a team 60-3 during pool play. You guys really hadn't been challenged until this final. How explosive was this offense, and really how much fun has it been to be a part of this lineup?
It's been really fun because everybody 1 through 9 can really hit the ball pretty well. And for us to just show what we can do, it's pretty fun.
So you come in that relief effort. Things maybe got a bit away from Jason Speck there. You come in and shut things down. What was the mentality for you when you came to the mound in that half an inning?
Really just to get out the inning so we could hit because I know that the game was getting pretty close and we got the bet, so just to get out the inning.
What was the message from the coaches then when you took the ball?
Well, he didn't really say anything. He just gave it to me because, he knows what I do.
All right, so tell me about what this fall has been like for you from a development point. I know players kind of look at fall a little bit differently. Some guys, the things are ratcheted up in the spring. Maybe in the fall you say, I'm going to work on this, I'm going to work on that to get ready for the spring. The spring high school season, what were those things for you as a player in the fall?
Really, mainly hitting the ball to the opposite side of the field and just staying in the strike zone. Yeah, because that's really important.
All right, so if we're having this conversation after the high school season, what do you feel like that you've proven in terms of yourself as a player over these last few months?
My hitting with 2 strikes. Yeah. But yeah, mainly just hitting.
All right. Well, you saw David do exactly that during the Dreams 9-5 win over the East Coast Sox. David, man, congratulations on the win. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right. That's going to do it here from Lakepoint Sports. Excuse me, the Dream. Excuse me. I'm getting a little coughed up here. We're having the end of the Dream, this Dream win. It's getting to me a little bit here. But 9-5 winners over the East Coast Sox. I appreciate everyone joining us. We've had Hudson Graham, Avery Hunt, as well as Simone Stanley coming to you with our sideline reports. So we'll have plenty more for you coming here shortly from Lakepoint Sports. But appreciate you joining us with our game of the day. Again, 9-5 is the Dream win over the East Coast Sox. They are the winners of the Underclass Fall World Series.